riches in the kingdom. I see hunters slaying demons. I see fire on this earth coming down like Hiroshima. I see prophets rising up, prophesying scriptures cut. I see Christ, he coming back. And he black, he look like us. I see it, 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 I see it.
We are not a hate group. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Israel United in Christ is a non-violent Bible-based movement. We do not advocate or condone any acts of violence against any race, ethnicity, or gender. We advise that everyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone or to break the laws of the land. You must contact the proper authorities to bring awareness to any possible threat as stated in Leviticus chapter 5 and verse 1.
Hey, Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ bless. Welcome to another edition of Thursday evening, Precept upon Precept. We got a fire show tonight for you. Welcome. We are your hosts. I'm Captain Shem.
Officer Matthew.
Officer Micah.
Officer Iran.
All right, all praises, all praises. So look, as we started the new format several weeks ago, we're going to start. Before we do that, everybody, please, when you get an opportunity to subscribe to IUIC New Orleans. We're trying to cusp 20,000 subscribers. Subscribe, share, hit the bell notification, and make sure you share, like, and let's get this webpage going, all right? Most High in Christ bless. We're going to go to Officer Micah and the Watchman Report.
Shalom, Israel, Most High in Christ bless. Good evening. Let's go ahead and get into the Watchman Report. All Lake City roadway crossings reopened after train derailment. Boil water advisory remains. So make sure you're boiling your water. All right. Next article, please. Pray for our IT team. Rapper is charged with gunning down a pregnant woman who was found dead next to her SUV with her sleeping toddler inside in Florida 3 days after he was acquitted of a separate double murder. Can't make this stuff up. Next article, please. Got off a murder, then went and committed another one. Newborn surrendered to baby box installed less than 3 months ago. They got boxes where you can put kids in now. This is getting crazy. Next article. Here's everything we still don't know about the unidentified objects. We know what that is. Esau just playing crazy. Next article, please. Judge vacates conviction of man in prison nearly 3 decades. This man was in prison for 51 years, I believe. Y'all can go read it. They finally let him out. I think we got one more. What's wrong with the chicken feed? People are reporting that their chickens have stopped laying eggs, and their feed might be the reason why. Report.
Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. Y'all check those articles Officer Micah posted. Check them out for yourself. So like we always do, we start the show after the Watchman Report. Let's take a look at the thumbnail that was created for tonight because we have a very unique show tonight that many people in the country may not be that familiar with. So what we have here is the words. That's cool. They're doing episode 82 now. Okay, that's kind of cool. Carnival, all right? Carnival, it's often referred to as Juve, Mardi Gras, things of that nature down here in the South. It's Carnival, a refurbished Egyptian custom. And when you look at the thumbnail, y'all, what you're going to realize is that much of the things you see in modern Carnival stems from the ancient Egyptian custom, and we're going to check that out today. So it's a refurbished version, all right? And what you see here is on the lower right-hand corner, you see this is the reason why people go to Carnival. It's not to come see white women. I'll tell you that right now. They go to see and our sisters who are out of order, showing off everything, and it's a time when the white man gets to see his voluptuous slaves in their rare form. And if you see in the back, you see the obelisk, the Egyptian that Bishop showed last week in Washington, D.C. Then you see, looks like Nefertiti, different Egyptian. And if you take a look at the sister with the mask, we're going to get into this. There's a reason why they wear masks at Carnival. So we're going to get into that tonight. So we can start first with, I believe it's number 6, Soldier Gay, please, number 6. And I believe it's a video. I have it time marked. If not, it's a 3-minute video. We can just play it. All right. Is this, let me see. So this right here, this is not the one. Hang on a sec. The one we wanted was, let me see. I want to make sure. Hold up. All right, let's just go with that one. Let's go with that one.
From samba blocos in Brazil to masked balls in Italy, Carnival is a truly global phenomenon.
Okay, so pause real quick. So, Carnival is the name that is known for internationally, because Carnival, it's a place of, actually was it a Greek word that meant meet and what else? Something about a meet in a party or meet or goodbye. And it started in ancient Egypt. So Carnival is known throughout the world, and in particular in this part of the country, New Orleans is known for any other place in the entire North America. It's New Orleans, Louisiana, right? Pretty much where we're at. They refer to it as Mardi Gras. So we're going to cover Mardi Gras. When you hear the terms Mardi Gras, that's also referring to Carnival, all right? So this video is going to explain a little bit about the history, in particular where it's celebrated throughout the earth. And this is why we have the map. Go ahead and play that.
From samba blocos in Brazil to...
So you brothers, those of us who, look, we can't look too long at that, but the reason why they go to Carnival is not to see white women. It's to see this. And this is why we have to, that's why as Israelites, we must not go to Carnival unless we go in like Officer Tavai and them in Canada and blast the hell out of it. But this is why. Because black women have the, and I said it as respectful as I can, they have the curves. They have the body. They have the things that attract men, and that's, you don't go to see white women. You see sisters of all different body types, and this is what you're going to see. Play.
Blocos in Brazil to masked balls in Italy, Carnival is a truly global phenomenon, celebrated in over 50 countries around the world. Carnival originated as a pagan festival in ancient Egypt to usher out winter and celebrate the beginning of spring.
So real quick, and we're going to get a little bit more about ancient Egypt. So in ancient Egypt, which Esau took many different things from many cultures, including Egypt, in ancient Egypt, it was a rite of passageway, kind of like the god Janus in January of the new year. It was basically that it was ushering in, rewind it again. I want them to say that, just the last 10 seconds.
As a pagan festival in ancient Egypt to usher out winter and celebrate the beginning of spring.
So it was to usher out winter, and it's like the new rebirth. So that was the Carnival, okay? And it was the time spring grows, crops come in, and it was a big party. Play on.
When Alexander the Great conquered Egypt, the ancient Greeks adopted the festival. The Romans assimilated.
Look how they did that. I don't know if y'all saw that, but they showed Alexander the Greek as being, almost looked like a brother. If you look, that's not true. Alexander the Greek was from, his father was Philip of Macedonia, and they were Caucasians who did not have skin like that, so don't let it fool you. He was a white man, all right? And they stole many different things of many cultures and claimed it as their own. And this is when the Bible says in 1 Maccabees, and evils were multiplied in the earth. Play on.
Greeks adopted the festival. The Romans assimilated the festival from the Greeks, and it was later overlaid with Christian meaning to become the festival of Carnevale. The word carne means meat in Latin, and vale means farewell.
So, real quick, so that was a time the ancient Egyptians, it was, hey, farewell winter, here comes spring, it's a big party. The white men, so-called white men, okay, Greeks and now the Romans, made it a Christian holiday with which it was Carnival, which means meet, farewell. So that's some of the origins of Carnival, all right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Mardi Gras, which means Fat Tuesday in English. Right after Fat Tuesday is Ash Wednesday.
Exactly.
And they do the farewell to the meats, the Catholics and all of that. And 40 days after Mardi Gras is Easter.
Mm-hmm.
So they tied Mardi Gras and that pagan stuff directly into pagan Easter and all the other things that Christianity celebrates.
That's heavy. And we're going to get into, when we get into Mardi Gras itself, which Mardi Gras is only called Mardi Gras in the South in the U.S. It's not called everywhere else. It's called Carnival. But we're going to get into that heavy. Well, like Officer Matthew said, we're going to go into that history. Play on. We want to show you.
In the Catholic calendar, Carnevale, farewell to meat, is a feast before the fast of Lent. In 18th century Italy, people preparing for Lent would throw indulgent fancy dress parties and gorge before the fast. As Christianity spread across Europe, so too did the celebration of Carnival. Colonization exported it across the world.
That was the point. So it started as an ancient Egyptian custom, as a passageway between winter and spring, and their winters weren't even. Look at Egypt. Look at how close it is to the equator. It was more of a growing season, and it was now, hey, it's a big party. The crops are coming in. Alexander the Greek came. They conquered. They destroyed. They stole this particular pagan custom, made it their own, refurbished it, okay? And like Officer Matthew said, then they tied it into Lent. They would gorge themselves before Lent, and it would be all pagan. And then through slavery in 1441, when the Pope made that Papal Bull that said they could enslave basically everybody who's not a white Christian, that's how Carnival spread to all these different places, all throughout. It's probably more than that, all right? So a little bit more play on, and then we're going to jump to 11, please.
Portuguese colonists took Lent to the shores of Brazil, where they had also taken an estimated 4 million African slaves.
I don't agree with that. I think it was many tens of millions. They love to go low numbers. And the reason why Brazil is important is because Brazil is the largest carnival, which is in Rio de Janeiro, which is, we're going to show a clip. It's absolutely, I mean, New Orleans is right behind it. New Orleans is huge as well. But Brazil is, y'all going to see, this place is amazing what they're able to do with organization of these events. It's wicked as hell, but nonetheless, play on.
Over time, European rituals fused with African ones to create Brazil's world-famous carnival. The flamboyant street parties are a celebration of Brazil's mixed...
That's why they go. That's why they go. Because it's an opportunity to see sisters with their God-given curves and body parts, and that's why people go to Carnival, to see black and brown women half naked and naked. That's why they go, okay? Don't let anybody mistake you. That's why they go. You hear all the Edomites at the job in different places, and they get drunk off there, and then that's the time when maybe they can score with a black girl. That's basically what's going on. Play on.
Are a celebration of Brazil's mixed heritage, and it's big business. In 2016, the city of Rio alone welcomed 1.1 million tourists during Carnival, contributing around $900 million to the city's economy. On the Caribbean island of Trinidad.
So in the interest of time, I just wanted to start off by showing it was ancient Egypt. The Greeks, the so-called white men, took it over like they did everything else, made it their own, spread it through slavery, and now we're going to get into Article 11. And look, if we have brothers who want to call in on Zoom to share, especially brothers, hey, if y'all on the show, I'm not from around. Like, these brothers here are from around here. They grew up with this. If you have any experiences you grew up with about Carnival, how it's hard for you, because that must be hard. Your whole life you go on the Carnival, and now we come to this truth, and you realize you can't do that no more. And this is a way of life down there. I was going on my way this morning to work. They shut schools down here for a week down here, and they advertise it on schools closed for a week in celebration, an observance to Mardi Gras. That's some wicked-ass stuff. Some wicked-ass stuff. So
my cousins used to come down. My family from New York, they used to come down, and my cousins would ask me, bro, you off for school for the whole week? I'm like, yeah, we out of school. How? I'm like, that's just what it is down here. And they used to get upset because, you know, they call down here, and I'm out going to parades, and, you know, they in school. So they used to come down here occasionally. You know, they didn't do it all the time because they miss school. It's a penalty. Right. You come down here, school is already out. You know what I mean? So, like you said, Cap, that stuff is big. They shut the school down. They shut the streets down. The busiest streets in the city is shut down because the parade got to pass through.
I'm going to tell you something. They advertise it right, and they have it's a big thing down here for the Mardi Gras cleanup crews, because I've seen videos, and Officer Matthew, Officer Eran, you are from here, Officer Mike and myself are not from here, but we'll tell you what, the amount of trash that's on the street and how quickly they pick it up, it's like they train for it. It's amazing the way that Mardi Gras works down here.
1201, Cap.
Yeah.
1201.
They don't play. They don't play. And I've actually seen and heard all about the people. They're so happy how fast they can clean up the city and how the crews coordinate their training and all this. This is a big deal. I'm not 11, sorry, 13. And it's time marked right at 3:52. I want to make a point that they made about ancient Egypt, because this is what Esau does. Esau claims to be a Christian who claims to be biblical, right? And then on this time of the year, it is a open opportunity to be openly and evil as hell, okay? And I'm going to show you that this is an ancient time. Egypt was the same way.
Take a look at one of the bigger festivals that ancient Egyptians celebrated, the Beautiful Feast of the Valley. The Beautiful Feast of the Valley was a once-a-year festival that was held only in Thebes during the early summer.
I'll pause real quick. The ancient Egypt, we heard earlier about the rite of passage between January and between winter and spring. Ancient Egypt had over 60 feasts that they celebrated. So here's another feast where Esau took parts of each different ideology and created their own version, hence the refurbished version. So we're going to hear what they would do in ancient Egypt. And this is why Esau, where he gets it from. He's not creative. He just steals everything and says it's his. Play.
The main focus was a procession of the god Amun, whose parade traveled from the east bank of the Nile across the river to the west bank to visit the goddess Hathor and spend the night there. This journey from east to west symbolized the transition from life to death to the afterlife. But this festival was not just about the gods, it was also about the dead. As the procession made its way around the West Bank, musicians and the audience that followed made a huge amount of noise to wake up the...
Down here in New Orleans, they have a thing that I've come to realize they're called a second line. And this is where it originates from. So they would get together and cross from it's funny, down here they have the east bank and west bank of the river, which is very, very interesting. So they would go from the east bank to the west bank, and what they would do is they would have these parades where a lot of music would be played, and it would celebrate the dead. They would celebrate the dead and have these big, giant party parades, okay?
That's exactly what they do down here.
That's exactly. So, again, what you're learning is everything has an ancient origin that was really stolen and altered and refurbished, okay? Play on, please.
and get their attention. People would then go and visit the tombs of their family members and have a big feast meal with them as a way of communing between the living and the dead. This also celebrated the dead's continued ability after their...
We got to come out of this. I remember how stupid I was. I used to watch rap videos, and me and the brothers I was with, if somebody died, I made this stupid one time, pour out drinks on the ground, which I was like, what the hell am I doing? To say, so basically I'm pouring drinks out so he can have a sip. How stupid that sounds, right? You ever see people do that? You take a 40-ounce liquor and you pour the beer on the ground. You're just wasting your beer, okay? Play on.
As a way of communing between the living and the dead. This also celebrated the dead's continued ability after their rebirth into the afterlife of being able to enjoy food and drink and the smell of flowers. This part of the festival can be compared with modern practices still in use in Egypt today, as well as also celebrations in other parts of the world, such as modern...
So now we're going to get the correlation. So it was celebration of the passage of the dead, celebration of the dead. They have these big long lines, a parade and music, and the dead can enjoy the smells of fruit and the smells of flowers. Now watch what's going on.
Real quick, Cap. So the leaving of flowers on the grave was an ancient Egyptian custom?
Yes. So, hey, remember Bishop was very respectful about it. He said, look, coffins. He said, that's not in our custom, right?
Right.
Well, check this out. That whole thing of flowers leaving on the grave is because they thought the dead could smell them, smell the flowers. So what we got to understand is, I always used to say to myself, like when my father died, everybody died, I always bring flowers. And I never understood why I was bringing flowers until this is the reason why. You know what I'm saying? Everything has a meaning. The wedding ring on the index finger, all meaning, okay? All of this stuff is meaning that as Israelites, we have to learn. And this is why, it's interesting when you go into the history of Mardi Gras, you have to go to Carnival. And Carnival takes you all the way back to ancient Egypt. And then they will have you, the way they talk about it, they would have you, it's a European in Italy. But BS, okay? Play on.
Day of the Dead and All Saints' Day celebrations. So what was it actually like to attend an ancient Egyptian festival?
So stop, here we go. So what was it like to attend an ancient Egyptian festival? Play on.
Well, in many ways you could compare it to attending a modern Mardi Gras or Carnival celebration, because it was not just a religious experience, but a way to break away from the everyday norms and accepted behaviors.
Stop. That's what I want right there. It was an excuse and a way to break away from the everyday behavioral norms, a.k.a. license to sin. This Mardi Gras, this Carnival is a wicked, evil, ancient custom that started in ancient Egypt. Go ahead, Officer Iran.
Cap, and we got a video that we did. We hit the streets, and we asked the people, what do you come out here for? And we gonna show y'all later what they come out there for.
Hey, look, so get that video in the queue, what Iran said. We're going to segue to that. And this is the root of the whole show is this is the reason why they do that. So the prayer of a show like this is to show our people who are unrepentant, look, Mardi Gras, although we understand it's fun to you, we understand it's an opportunity to have fun and drink, there is a spirit behind it. And the same spirit is in Brazil, it's in New Orleans, it's in Nottingham, which I went to that carnival. In the truth, we went to teach there. It's the second biggest in London. It's in Canada. It's in parts of India. So we got to understand that this is a vice for many of our people, that it is very enjoyable. Sin is pleasurable. And tell somebody that Mardi Gras is evil down here, they're going to look at you like you crazy. Matter of fact, they think that I'm ostracizing them. Shem doesn't even want to sit with us. He doesn't want to talk about me. He won't even have a piece of king cake. No, I don't want none of that crap. King cake is a cape. It's like a circle. It's got all these colors and stuff. Somebody explain that. It's huge down here.
I used to get a king cake for my birthday every single year. Like every year, my birthday came around. I came home and I had a king cake. King cake was it's an ancient celebration, but inside of the cake, they have a little plastic baby. And they cut the pieces of the king cake up. Everybody gets given a piece. And if you have the piece of the king cake with the baby in it, you got to buy the next king cake. All right. I forgot the whole, you remember the whole meaning behind the baby and all of that stuff inside the cake? Because I forgot it, but there's a meaning behind it. But I know the rule is you get the piece of cake with the baby in it, you got to buy the next king cake. So it's a whole ritual thing that they have going on.
Hey, it's happening right now that you could go because it's coming up. They call it Fat Tuesday down here. And it's funny because we'll get to that later because what did I tell you to get? I'm sorry. Yeah, so, yeah, beautiful. So, look, so we had our cuts from the street film crew, sharp-looking shirts out there. They're out there in New Orleans, Louisiana. This is looks like Bourbon or Canal, I think. Where you was at, Iran? Uptown. Okay. So, Iran, you wanna narrate this right quick and just kind of take us through this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So the video gonna speak for itself. We went out to hit the streets and just interview our people. What were they out there for? And a lot of our sisters was out there dressed provocative. Men, sisters, blunts in their hand, drinks in their hand. With the kids out there. With the kids in their hands while they got the Henny in the other. So we can go ahead and let it play.
This is IUIC New Orleans, and we are here doing Mardi Gras, one of the parades down here in New Orleans. And so what we're going to do is we're going to ask the people about the origins of Mardi Gras. What do they think about it? Where does it come from? What does the Bible say about it? And Lord's will, we'll get some good answers.
All right. So we out here at the parade, all right? And I'm here with, what's your name? Sheikah. That's a typical New Orleans name, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Sheikah, what can you tell, for the people that's not from New Orleans, what can you tell us about Mardi Gras?
We drink. We like to drink. We like to party. We like to party.
What's your age? How old are you?
18.
18 years old. All right, you from here?
Yeah.
So what pretty much be going on, during Mardi Gras? Like, what's some of the things that people come out here for?
They come out here to flash for beads, to get drunk, to get a daiquiri, to do some fun thing, drunk and king cakes. They do that too.
Pause right quick. She said it fast. She said they come out here to flash for beads.
Right.
Want to let you know what that means. That means that they show their breasts in order to get beads. Those of y'all who are over 30, y'all know about the Girls Gone Wild videos they used to show. Well, they literally have women that go out to flash their breasts just to get a piece of plastic.
And guess what? Y'all ain't got to take off some Matthew word for it. They say it in the video. Let it play.
During Mardi Gras, like, what's some of the things that people come out here for?
They come out here to flash for beads, to get drunk, to get a daiquiri, to do some fun thing, drunk and king cakes. They do that too.
Mary. Sister Mary. I'm sorry.
From Sierra Leone.
Sierra Leone.
West Africa. Yes.
Okay, all praises, all praises. And you're from Sister Grace is from Atlanta.
What are you all out here for?
Fun. This is my second year, so I'm ready to do it.
These damn girls are in high school, man. About 16, 15, and guess what? They out there flashing. They out there drinking. Go ahead. And guess what? It's adults all around, but guess what? This is condoned when it's Mardi Gras.
Right, real quick. And when we transition back, that's the point of this whole show, is that in ancient Egypt, it was an excuse from normal behaviors. And that's there's a spirit that carried over through the white man when he took it, made it his own, brought it to his slaves through slavery, and now, right now, they are practicing the same thing they did 2,500 years ago in Egypt. So carry on, Officer Ram.
Hey, play. We almost done. Go ahead.
What's your favorite parade?
I'd have to say either Barcus because of where I work or Bacchus just for the simple revelry. It's amazing.
In revelry, right? What's some of the things one might do having a good time to get some beads or get some attention from the floats?
Normally,
These things.
What was that, Jonathan?
Those right there, those help out a lot.
Yeah, well, I enjoy
nice beer myself, so
Yeah, it's
I
okay to
can't
drink.
knock anybody for drinking beer. So, I just keep it real. Anybody know me, I keep it real.
Right.
I get loaded. You know what I'm saying? Drink that beer.
Yeah.
Maybe y'all don't.
But
hey, praise God.
Under the bridge.
This brother said I get loaded, and I drink in the same sentence. Praise God. Go on though.
Hey,
go ahead, also.
I remember when I first moved down here, and they were telling me, hey, they do Mardi Gras or whatever. And this guy, he was a colonel. He said he broke it down to me like, hey, it is like a high honor to catch a coconut. I was confounded. I said, see, y'all go out there and y'all let people just hurl coconuts at you, like real coconuts. He said, yeah, man, if you catch a coconut, I was like, I'm thinking you might catch a concussion behind this coconut. But he was serious as hell about this coconut. I'm looking at the dude like, you supposed to be like an esteemed representative of the organization, and you giving me a block of instruction on how to catch a damn coconut.
They don't throw the coconuts, because me and my daddy, we had a competition every year at Zulu. Zulu was the place where they give you the coconuts. And I used to go, and I used to sit in the crowd, and I used to stoop down to where I'm like kind of shoulder height to everybody. And what they do is they hold the coconut over the crowd like that. So when they hold the coconut over the crowd, I used to time it. I would jump up and snatch it out of their hand. And I would do that like 15, 20 times. I would come back. We would come home with piles of coconuts, because that was the thing. You know what I'm saying? That was the thing. Like the lady said, she liked Bacchus because of the revelry. We knew in the city, Bacchus was the parade to go to. If you were a worldly man, you want to go to Bacchus because they going to be loose out there. That's where you go. If you want something, you go to Bacchus. It's straight wickedness, bro. Dudes down here, they got it planned and plotted out already.
Right. Check this out. So, I'm serious. You almost done with that? I don't want to slow you down on that.
Yes, sir. It's almost done. A couple more seconds. Play it.
It's from Mardi Gras.
No, don't come under the bridge.
Why not? Why not?
Under the bridge, a little too wild for y'all.
Too wild?
Come under the bridge.
Okay. It's family oriented under the bridge, right?
Yeah, but after 7 o'clock is over.
Can't bring out the kids?
No, take them in.
And we talked about the spirit. It says no drunkards, right? Did you see that in there? No drunkards.
Because that's exactly what was going next. That you in the spirit. 1 Corinthians chapter 6. So the spirits that were originated in ancient Egypt are talked about. Paul talked about them because it's not just reviling. It's multiple spirits that are associated with that. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, start at verse 1, and then we're going to jump to 9 and 10.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 1.
So we understand that our people that are caught up in Carnival, and by the way, Carnival takes place in different parts of the world at different times of the year. For example, in New Orleans, the season starts, about early January, something like that?
Yeah, it takes place. You'll start seeing after like the 5th of January what they call King's Day.
Right.
And after that, you'll have like sporadic parades, and then like 2 weeks into January, towards the end of January, you'll start having them every weekend. And in February, it's almost every day.
And the culmination is this upcoming Monday in New Orleans is called Lundi Gras, which is very interesting, and a lot of places will give their employees off. Matter of fact, Mardi Gras down here, I would argue, is bigger than Christmas is in the other parts of the United States and the world. They give it's a holiday. We get the day off at the job. Most people get the day off at the jobs. Many businesses are closed because the economy basically shuts down, and it is the economy, okay? Read that, please.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 1. Dare any of you, having a matter against one another, go to the law before the unjust?
So here's the thing. The whole Bible is about going to the law. When you have a problem with your brother, when you have a problem with your nation, you go to the law. So then we're going to jump to verse 9 and 10, because what happens is the spirit is of lawlessness at the Mardi Gras or Carnival. Read on.
Verse 9. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God?
So what we're going to read about are characteristic or traits or spirits of unrighteousness, okay? And watch this. Read on.
Be not deceived. Neither fornicators.
Because what happens is a lot of our people, they're deceived into thinking, well, everyone else does Mardi Gras and Carnival, so I can go ahead and do things outside of what I normally would do, and it's cool. Like in Vegas, they say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. That is a custom that it started in ancient Egypt, okay? And it's a spirit. Read on.
Nor idolatrous, nor adulterous.
And many of the ancient gods were celebrated in Egypt, like when we saw before, it was a celebration of crossing the east bank or the west bank of the Nile to go in to visit the god. And then you would honor the dead. Okay, read on.
Nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind.
And a lot of homosexuality behavior happens at these carnivals. Okay, read on.
Nor thieves, nor covetous.
Now here we go. This is the part.
Nor
So when you go to a carnival or a Mardi Gras, pull up, Gabe, the last one, the sister that's pregnant. What happens is you'll be there, and there's a saying that you go your way, I go my way. I'm talking about husbands and wives. So during Carnival or during a Mardi Gras, many married couples will say, listen, I'm not going to bring it up. You do you, I do me during Carnival. Why? Because they covet one another's wives. They covet one another's significant other, okay? And this is what ends up happening is you end up having babies out of wedlock, and it's accepted. They don't even challenge it because there was an agreement. She does, I'm going to do me. It's Carnival, nigga. Just do what we got to do. Pull that up on, I sent it to you about 9:30. Okay, so this is in Trinidad, which I think is the third or fourth largest carnival in the world. And this is a sister, and she's got a headdress on, and she is pregnant. So scroll down real quick. Word of the week. Read that.
Word of the week, Carnival baby. Carnival baby, a child born about 9 months after Carnival, usually in November. From the beginning, conceived during Carnival fever.
Now, that's not talking about you 102 or 101.6. That's talking about you get the green light to be exceptionally wicked as hell because it's socially acceptable. And that's why you have Carnival babies. Read on.
The acceptance of normally disapproved social practices.
If you were to go in southern Alabama, southern Mississippi, or even New Orleans, well, except Bourbon Street probably, but most of the time, if you are a woman and you flash yourself, it's going to be probably frowned upon unless it's maybe Friday, Saturday night. But during Mardi Gras season and Carnival, listen, they're going to look at you like, that's no problem. They won't even arrest you for indecent exposure if you do that during certain times of the year. And they won't even arrest you for weed, even though it's illegal to smoke weed in certain places. Cops don't even give a damn. Okay?
And they'll never pull you over for drunk driving down here.
Hey, Iran, Micah, I want a perspective from you. Do you remember the first time you heard about a drive-through daiquiri when you moved down here?
Cap.
You remember about that?
Yes.
Please speak on that.
I remember. I do even better than that, Cap. I was still new here. Captain Hananiah came down, and it was crazy because Captain Hananiah was like, "Yeah, Cap, we can just go over and get a daiquiri or whatever." So we pull up at the daiquiri. I couldn't believe it either. It took me to like, Cap, look, this is how they do it here.
Right.
He's like, no, I got to get a picture of this because I can't believe this stuff. People, they say, okay, you can drive up. They hand you the drink with a straw in it.
As long as it's a piece of paper on the straw when you leave.
As long as that paper on there, you good to go. It be cops in line.
Did you hear that? Listen,
cops.
Because I'm from up north, right? Greater New York, Connecticut area. When I pulled down here, I was everything I would question. That when I said, what are you talking about, bro? Yeah, you can go through and get a bucket of daiquiri, and you're good. Just don't take the straw off. What are you talking about? So you could go, pull up, take the straw off, and you could be drinking a daiquiri, which is full of liquor, and it's legal. And this is throughout the year. They got one in southern Mississippi. Here's the point. What was the damn point? Yeah, it's wicked as hell. That's the point.
Hey, Cat, one of the leadership years ago was down here, right? It was like, hey, take me to go get, something to drink. I was like, you want a daiquiri? It was like, all right, cool. One of the officers that was from here was like, yeah, let's go get a daiquiri. So we pull up to the daiquiri shop, and he was like, "Yo, what you doing?" I said, "We going through the drive-through." He said, "We going through what?"
Right.
I said, "We going through the drive-through. We just gonna pick it up." He said, "So they gonna let you drive up?"
I know you're talking about too.
And then drive off with liquor in the. He said, "No, get out the car. We're going inside." I said, "You know, we can still leave with because they give you a gallon of it with cups.
Yep.
And as long as your straw is not in the cup, the container is considered closed." That's that ambiguity when it comes to the law down here with the drinking.
And it goes back to this spirit. Read that 1 Corinthians 6 and 10 again, please.
1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 10. Nor thieves, nor covetous.
Because it is a covetous spirit. Because they have a thing like it's a prize thing to get beads, which Officer Matthew said it probably costs 4 cents to make in Malaysia. Read on.
Nor drunkards.
And that is the catalyst for the covetousness and the sex and the carnival babies is that. It is the drunkenness. That is, you heard your boy say, he said, I like to drink a little beer. I get loaded, praise God. It is a different spirit when you start to desire all the non-socially accepted behaviors. They become socially acceptable. Now you get drinking. Now you get that beer coverage. Next thing you know, you got good, wholesome Christian girls that are now flashing themselves for 3-cent beads. It's a spirit that started way back in Egypt, and our people are blindly following that. Read on.
Nor revelers, nor extortioners.
So a reveler is actually one of the, they mentioned in the video, but in the interviews they said revelry.
Yes, sir.
And what that is there's certain laws of peace and tranquility and sound ordinances for normal enjoyment in neighborhoods. That doesn't exist during Mardi Gras season. You can make as much noise. They got parades. They're drunk all night long. And then I think one of the last days, like you said, Officer Matt, they stop and then there's a big cleanup.
Yeah, like he was saying earlier about the crime and all of the stuff that they can do. Everything is basically out the window. Public intoxication, public indecency, indecent exposure, all of that stuff is out the window. 12:01 on Wednesday, 12:01 a.m. If you caught doing any of that, you're going to jail. That's why the cleanup crews, they are right there at 11:45. When it sparks 12:01, they are moving those cleaning trucks. And anything that's on the street, no matter what it is getting swooped up into that cleaning truck. They don't waste no time and they don't play no games. Be caught out there at 12:01 doing something that was considered illegal all of that time, and you going to jail. That they don't play about that.
And that shows you that it's this place here is based upon refurbished sins of the heathen. So read it again, verse 10, and then we're going to move on.
Nor thieves, nor covetous.
So now here's the thing. So you begin to desire other women. You begin to desire women who are outside of the woman God gave you. Okay? Read on.
Nor drunkards.
And then the drunkenness starts with the beer, the liquor, the wine, the weed, the drugs, all of that unsobering causes. Read.
Nor revelers.
And the revilers or revelers when the parties, the banqueting. Read on.
Nor extortioners.
Read on.
Shall inherit the kingdom of God.
So all those are spirits that if we don't come out of, we won't get the kingdom of God. So Mardi Gras and Carnival is a major vice for our people. And some of us in this truth, you get caught out there. It's a time down here when everybody meets family. They come in from all over the country. Just come around. You know your whole life. 32 years used to come around. You know that Zulu was your favorite. You know that Baka was all these different ones. And you could get caught right back up. One blunt, 2 beers later, and now you're on the street and having sex with people that you don't even know. And that is accepted during this time of year.
And you know when it happens? And for those of y'all who from New Orleans and y'all got family, you know, you coming to the truth, your family ain't really accepting it. That stuff happens around Namtok. That's when it happens. That's the all black parade. That's when all of the black people get together as a family. And they come together. It's in the daytime. You ain't got to worry about this. You ain't got to worry about that. Just come over here. Your mama or your grandma might live on the parade route. You just want to go over there just to see. And that's how you get caught up.
Yeah. Hey, Officer Mikael, shalom, shalom. What's going on, brother? Share what's going on with you.
Hey, shalom, most high Christ bless. Hey, just got finished doing another part of the mission. But to go in the Mardi Gras, that king cake, they say the king cake represents the three kings or the three wise men that came to see Jesus. And that's why the baby's in the cake is supposed to represent baby Jesus. It starts on January 6th is when Mardi Gras starts. That's supposed to be, they call it King's Night or King's Day. It's also called Epiphany. It's also called 12th Night because it's the 12th night of Christmas, showing you that all this stuff is connected. They just keep it running. All that sin, it goes all the way back to Saturnalia and, like you said, those Egyptian customs. It's all a bunch of wickedness that they have all the way connected. And it connects all the way to the Weeping of Tammuz and Ishtar's Day. It all links together.
All praises. Hey, Officer Mikael, now, so you been in this truth for a minute now. You be honest, you used to get down with it, like most brothers. You used to get down with the Mardi Gras, right?
Yes, sir.
And it's not just what a lot of folks are. It's not just in New Orleans. Like, it's in Baton Rouge. It's in Mobile, Alabama, right? A lot of people think it's only in New Orleans. Tell us about the whole custom of Mardi Gras down here.
Mardi Gras down here, they have a saying in French, laissez le bon temps rouler. It means let the good times roll. Basically, whatever thing you want to do it. When I was out there in Mardi Gras, I used to look for tourists, and we would play the knockout game. Basically, you find a tourist, you hit them as hard as you can, and you go through their pockets. And you run through the crowd. They can't catch you.
Damn.
So that's the type of stuff we used to do in New Orleans for Mardi Gras, locals.
Damn. And look, and that's what this truth will do. This truth will take brothers, and a lot of brothers did stuff, wicked stuff like that. And now the truth is so powerful, the laws of God are so powerful, something you might have did your whole life, and now you can completely cut it off. That's the power of God. So, hey, Officer Mikael, all praises for calling in. Y'all see Officer Mikael, he's one of the main figures of the show. He does a lot of the work behind the scenes with the thumbnails and organization and help keeping our tech team setting it up and training up Officer Akiem to run the thing. So all praises to the Most High, brother. Keep pushing this truth, all right?
Yes, sir.
We got any other callers? So we going to... Okay, let's keep it moving. Real quick, let me know when break time is. I don't want to... Actually, one more. I want to show them an example. I want to show you number 12. So this is a quick YouTube short of Mardi Gras on Bourbon Street during the daytime. I want you to understand how crowded, and there's no nudity, so don't worry about it. But I want to show you this real quick. Y'all check this out. So in New Orleans, now it's not code anymore, but they used to build buildings where the tops of the roofs would hang out over the street. Now you can't do that; it's grandfathered in now, building code wise. So people will stand on these balconies, okay, and up there they'll do things. They'll have a bunch of beads, and they're drinking and partying, and so they would ask, and vice versa, platforms, and if they. Like Officer Matthew said, if they show their breasts by lifting their shirts up, they get the beads. So you'll see people looking like Mr. T with all the different beads, like gold chains around their neck. That means that they flashed that many times. So you see some of these women have beads around it, so there's a good chance that these women probably flashed their breast, okay? Play. So pause. What's going on right here? This is worse than Manhattan. So this is a street called Bourbon Street. And those of you who've been to New Orleans, it is a major street that runs for miles. That's off of a street called Canal Street, which goes to basically, I guess you could say the heart of New Orleans. I guess I could say that. And this street is so crowded. We taught camp one night recently on Bourbon Street with about 200 brothers. And we had to go down to almost a column of one to get through this. And this is during the day. When at nighttime, it's a whole nother story. But play on.
Y'all show your buzz. Gotta get somebody from there.
Okay, so we just wanted to show y'all that. And New Orleans is, when you look at the overall scope, New Orleans, I think, is number 6 or 5 in the world. So it's really, really pronounced down here. So I think that's it. We're going to go to break. And when we come back from break, Officer Matthew's going to hold it down with Kingdom music. And we're going to focus on Mardi Gras in the actual city of New Orleans when we come back from break. So stay tuned. Stick around with us, y'all. We appreciate y'all. All right? Stick around. Shalom.
I got a confession. Last night the Bible spoke to me, and I won't keep it secret. I'ma tell you what was told to me, like who I'm supposed to be and who to have close to me. For 400 years, I had the wrong people holding me. Shit. They like, hey man, where you been? Man, I've been with my Israelites and I've been getting it in. I got my beard on me, I got my fringe on me, and if you ain't keeping no law, you ain't
doing Mardi Gras. Like, what's some of the things that people come out of?
They come out here to flash the beads, to get drunk, to get a daiquiri.
Sometimes it's hard, I look up and say, why was I procreated? Then I gotta sit back like...
Yo, we go the distance. Across the waters, teach our people, this is a mission. 12 tribes worldwide, this is redemption. Yeah, this is redemption. This is redemption. We go the distance. Across the waters, teach our people, this is a mission.
Hey, shalom, Israel, Most High Christ bless. Officer Matthew here with Kingdom music. All right. Now look, we got my brother in the building. You know, because he say that, Ciroc in the building. But we got my brother here, you know what I'm saying? He ain't here, but he's here in spirit, all right? So we're going to roll that video by the Mighty Rock DMR, a.k.a. Ciroc.
I remember vividly how that alcohol, it was killing me. Coming through the 20 penitentiary, damn the quarter century. Almost threw my whole life away off that great goose. Oh, man.
Don't nobody ever say nothing, all right? How you ever going to accrue the coinage to be out of the program if you're not being a part of this? Nobody will be here. Oh, new guy. Hey, man. Hey, brother. This is where I started. I started off with a penny. Now I got a quarter. You know what I'm saying? It levels to it. $1.73 my first month. This is all y'all can do the same thing. But you got to really be dedicated, okay? To broke asses.
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing? Name's Anthony. You guys want some mints? You sure you good on the mints, man? I'll have some coffee, man.
George.
Hey, hold on, man. I'm trying to get...
Trevor, his name is Anthony, damn it. Stop calling
all of them. I don't know the damn brother. Man, I'm just trying to help the brother, man. Just relax. He just got here. Good. All right, good. All right, now before we get started, everybody turn to your neighbor and say what you want to get out of the program. All right. Okay. Glad I ain't stopped drinking. Listen, okay, there's 12 steps, all right? And there was 5 steps to eternity, if you guys remember Drew Hill, all right? So that's what we're gonna go with this. We're gonna make the 5 steps first, all right? We're gonna step in the name of love, okay? We're gonna do all the things that everybody before us have done, okay? So, on the list, the 6th one says to make amends with all your enemies. But, what we do is, can you fight a little bit? If you whoop them up a little bit, they'd be nice to you. They be your friend. So that's how we do it around here. Yeah. Just, like he said, just whoop them. Whoop them real good. Ain't that it? All right? Whoop that trick. Whoop them. Check a leg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rich wrestle with meals like Ted DiBiase. I'ma keep the faith in the Father. I know he really got me. See me, Aki. Lord's will, I never fade away. Giving God the glory each day. He got the final say. Wrestle with my flesh. Keep my sin in a headlock. Holla at your counsel 1,000 to keep your head rock. Keeping God laws in the field. Look at my muddy cleats. Game hella soggy. Step gotta be letter T. Real DB's gonna get it. Know what I'm talking about. Never slip up out of my break. Pick 6 up to the house when in doubt. Put my face up in these scriptures. Know you got my back. Help me overcome all that liquor. Rhyme scheme sicker. Help me high hella loogies. High off the milk of that word. No longer doobies. Director and his action-packed script. Let's make a movie. The fear of the Lord will help me knock off your goofy. Christian rap is soft. Yeah, still hella dookie. Riding with the big dogs. Nigga, you roll with Snoopy. Israelite kings. No, ain't talking no Snoopy. So-called black and Hispanics. Natives, my Louis.
I'm meditating on these scriptures day and night. My flesh gets weak, but I'm enduring the fight. I'm meditating on these scriptures day and night. My flesh gets weak, but I'm enduring the fight.
Married to the laws of God. Yeah, it's Bible over everything. Teaching on the block with that hubba rockin' amphetamines. Yeah, we make your corner hot. Crawl out on everything. Scripture bring correction out. KJV, we let it sing. Messiah motivated flow. Application help you grow. Giving understanding on the scriptures that you heard before. All you really need to know is keep the law and faith to Christ. Pull up to the school if you want your situation right. Loyal to this Bible and these laws like that gang life. Loyalty and order is gonna help you to sustain a fight. Kingdom be the aim, right? Repentance gotta be the goal. Lord's will you purify. Make me like Ophir gold. Lord's will I never fold. EA Sports, I'm in the game. One nation, one accord. So we speak the same thing. Gotta keep your head up when you dribble. We go through the lane. Israelites the best. To the rest, we are not the same. Not about the fortune fame. Shining like a diamond ring. If you got no guts and no glory, gotta feel the pain. I ain't with the sinning side, so I stay away from lame. Lord, will I never die? I'm just trying to kingdom reign.
I'm meditating on these scriptures day and night. My flesh gets weak, but I'm enduring the fight. I'm meditating on these scriptures day and night. My flesh gets weak, but I'm enduring the fight. The fight, yeah. I'm enduring. I'm enduring.
Hey, so that was the mighty rock. All right. All praise to the Most High for righteous music. Look, support the album. All right. Support the album. Go on originalroyalty.com. And if you have not gotten the album yet, go get the album. All right. Listen to truth music. Stop listening to all of that other whack stuff. All that stuff from the world is whack. All right? Israel got the title when it comes to music. All right? And that concludes Kingdom Music.
Yo, we go the distance, across the waters, teach our people, this is a mission. 12 tribes worldwide, this is redemption. Yeah, this is redemption. This is redemption. We go the distance, across the waters, teach our people, this is a mission. 12 tribes.
Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. Welcome back, Israel. Welcome back. Welcome back. Look, pull up the video. It's the cartoon Carnival excerpt. It's towards the end, and it's a short video. I don't think I even had a time marker because it's only 2 to 3 minutes. So this is a way what Esau does is he uses his media, the mouth of the dragon, to push out the imagery to children that this carnival behavior is socially acceptable, and they use it with a good old white girl from Minnesota. Like, if it's good enough for her, surely it's not a bad thing if Becky from Minnesota is partaking in this. So we're going to show you, and she really is from Minnesota, the cartoon character, and she's dressed up as a blue parrot. Should have it. There we go.
Spixie.
Tulio?
Oh, Linda, I was just...
So real quick, so pause. So what's in this perfect shot? So what happens is psychologically, when they see the white woman, right, who, by the way, she doesn't have curves, most of them, like our sisters, dressed like this, and they put the imagery out on the movies and in their media, surely it's acceptable. And now, if you notice the way that she's got her hands, like almost that she's shy, and should she be dressed like this? And oh, innocence, right? Ain't nothing innocent about. She ain't at a beach, and first of all, bikinis is wicked as hell. But she isn't walking around in the public in a bikini showing everything, dressed up as a parrot for Carnival. This is actually taking place in South America. The other characters speaking Spanish. And this is how they get to the minds of the young girls, okay? And then now, because our sisters see white girls as the standard of beauty, so surely they can do it, okay? And again, this is an ancient Egyptian which was refurbished customs by the Greeks and Romans. Okay, play on.
I look ridiculous, don't I?
Say you, say me, say for always.
Pause, real quick, pause. So what happens is, the reason why she said, it goes back to earlier, it is a time during Mardi Gras and Carnival when behavior that is normally not acceptable becomes acceptable. So they're showing her coming out of a cocoon, saying that I look ridiculous, don't I? I feel I'm so innocent. And then as it goes on, it becomes accepted. The same what they do with men and gender fluidity. Now the next thing is Mambler and Tumblr with pedophilia is going to be accepted soon. This is how they get them. They start with the cartoons. They start with the imagery. Okay? So, play on.
Sorry.
Oh, the parade. It's about to start.
Okay.
Você aí, vem pra cá, vambora.
Wait, no. I am looking for a bluebird. Birdo?
O que é birdo?
Birdo,
Não,
yes.
vambora.
Oh,
Vem pra cá logo.
Wait, what are you doing? Tulio! Hey!
So, Rio de Janeiro is the biggest carnival in the world. Do me a favor, if you can find any YouTube show or anything you could find on Rio Carnival 2022. Let's look back at 2022. Rio, the amount of money that they spend on the floats is just absolutely amazing when it comes to a worldly perspective. So while you get that, we're going to go back to now she is going to step into like almost like an elevator within this float that's going to send her up. And watch what you're going to see, because this is what they did in Egypt. This is what they did in Egypt, and this is what they did in Rome and in these different Greco-Roman parades.
This is not good. This is not good. This is... Cheese and sprinkles.
So pause real quick. So this. It's a huge. Like they have like stadium halls, and they have these parades that go down. And look at the thousands and thousands and millions of people that are in and watching all of this. But what they don't show you is they don't show you. We're gonna get a snippet of predominantly it's these curvaceous, big-bosomed, half-naked black women. That's what but they're not showing you that here. They're showing you this innocent, lovely white girl from Minnesota. Surely it's not bad if she can come out of, she feels awkward, but she evolves and accepts Carnival. It's a bunch of garbage. Okay, play on.
Bring me down now. I think we're done here.
All right, guys, I'll fly ahead and look for
And if you
Jewel.
look, they show the black women in dresses, and then see how they're all covered up. That's not none. That's true, okay. And then they don't really show you the curves of the sisters. Oh, they actually did. I stand corrected. They do show something. That okay. This is really what it's. This is why people go to Carnival, to see, not to see Becky from Minnesota, to see sisters like this. Now, if we can segue over to Rio Carnival, the largest carnival in the world is in Rio, followed by Nottingham and London, followed by Trinidad and Tobago. New Orleans makes the top 5 or 6, and it's those of you who've been to one, it is absolute. It's like a doggone soft porn show everywhere around. So look, that's almost straight out of the cartoon. Now, you see sisters like this. This is why we read in 1 Corinthians 10 about covetous. Here you are a married man. You get to go to Carnival, and your wife goes one way, you go another way, and you see woman after woman after woman looking like this. The inhibitions are down. The drunkenness takes effect, and now you are in a world of lust, a world of drunkenness, in a world of revelry, okay? And that is an ancient origin. Yes, sir.
And the AIDS rate always spikes in New Orleans around this time.
Damn.
New Orleans is number 1 in the country right now for AIDS and HIV. It goes in between like New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and Jackson, Mississippi, kind of like flip-flops. But around this time, New Orleans holds the rate for AIDS and HIV.
That's not something to be proud of. That's horrible. And again, don't let anybody fool you. The reason why people go to Carnival, because it's an opportunity to see black women's bodies. That's the reason. That's exactly what it is. And they get drunk. Okay? Yes, sir.
Can I get a script cap?
Of course.
Isaiah 47:2. Isaiah 47:2, because at the end of the day, all these people that's at the damn carnivals, they going to have ash on their head the following Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? In church, trying to do the Lent, trying to fast, and trying to abstain from temptation, supposedly. But read that.
Book of Isaiah, chapter 47, verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
Take the millstone.
All right, now this is it's a parable, but it's a go to how a lady should dress. Read.
And grind meal.
Mm-hmm.
Uncover thy locks.
Mm-hmm.
Make bare the legs. Uncover the thigh.
It says uncover the thigh. So the thigh should be covered. Read on.
Pass over the rivers.
And now give me that in Timothy's modest apparel. Because women, your legs are supposed to be covered. You're not supposed to be showing off your body parts. It don't matter what season it is. Read what you got.
Book of 1 Timothy, chapter 2 and verse
Go ahead.
In like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel.
Adorn yourselves in modest apparel. That's what the Bible says. The Bible that you read in, well, you don't read it, let's be honest. But the Bible that you so-called believe in, it says adorn yourselves in modest apparel. Your legs are supposed to be covered up. Your body's supposed to be covered up. But you believe in the Lord? Examine yourself. That's all I got.
That's right. Let's continue to play. We're going to look at Rio de Janeiro, which is in Brazil, South America. And this is the huge carnival. And now this is the reason why. Brothers, we got to stay in the spirit. These are sisters that are lost. Play on. So everywhere you go, there is a party, there is a parade, there is liquor, there is food. There are half-naked black and Hispanic Latino sisters everywhere. And most of them that wear those costumes, that wear the garb, the garments, the headdress, they're not fat women. They're women that have, bodies that men desire. And it's all a spirit. All of that is a spirit.
In a country with, if I'm not mistaken, the biggest Jesus statue.
That's right.
In the world. So with the one with the biggest Caesar bow got the most wickedness going on.
Hey, you gotta. I'll tell you something. And Officer Joaz posted, one other officer posted that got hit yet again with lightning. Mossad sent lightning bolt and lit the whole doggone statue up. Play on. I want us to see this. This is mild right here. Okay, pause real quick. This is perfect. So this is these headdresses, half naked, and a lot of girls from the time they're young, they say during Carnival, I want to look like a Carnival princess. And so they'll try to get in shape for Carnival so they can get into their garb, their costumes. And it's a whole culture, especially that. It's a whole culture. There's a whole serious culture in Brazil, in Italy, in different parts of the world. In Trinidad, huge. London, England, huge. New Orleans, Louisiana, huge. This is a whole way of life. They plan their whole years around Mardi Gras, around Carnival. Okay, and this is what people go to see. Play on. All right, pause. We can get that up the screen. So now go back to. I just had the article. Excuse me. Go to the one. It talks about. Hold up. Bear with me. We did Carnival Baby. We did the video about the first 3 minutes of number 14. So there's a reason down in New Orleans, and this is heavy. This is the one spiritual thing that I took away from this is that. Some of the things they do in Mardi Gras, they call them the Black Mask Indians. It actually is giving reverence to the 10 tribes and what they did for our people. So I time marked it for you. Started at about 119.
Speaking of the people that was able to hide us, and you can't hide people if you don't look like them.
Go back. I'm sorry. Just start from the beginning, because it's only a minute and 19.
You taking a year-long process and hand sewing and hand beating suits
Hey,
just for the culture's sake.
And these are very elaborate. I went into a couple ladies' houses, and they have them on display. It is very, very intricate sewing. You see the headrest that this brother has on? Each one of them is a little teeny bead that is really pretty amazing, the way that they build these garments, these incredible costumes.
Hey, if y'all want to see something like that deals with that, they got a show called Treme, Treme. It used to come on HBO. One of the guys one of the actors. He used to be on The Wire. He played a chief. He was a second line Indian chief, and they show you how a whole year, like every single day, they making their garment, and they make one every single year. So after he wears this one for that time, that's going to get put to the side, and he's going to spend the rest of the year all the way to the next year making another one. And they show that.
And here's the thing. This is the confusion of black people, because they want to get their African roots. So you see that black mask, and then you see there you go. Look at his look at your 12, and then look to the left and the right. There's an upside down ankh. What do they call it? Ankh? Is they call it ankh? So a lot of that, again, it goes back to Egypt. And what they did is the slaves, they took what they learned from their masters. We showed you earlier that when the Portuguese and the slave trade came, they took, remember, Alexander the Greek stole the Egyptian concept of a second line, of a Mardi Gras, of a Carnival. Then they did it in the Greco-Roman Empire. After the Renaissance came, they continued, they refurbished it, and they pushed it throughout slavery. Now, this is heavy because in New Orleans, in this part of the country, many of the slaves were helped out by the Native Americans. So this history is somewhat spiritual. Yes, he is confused. Maybe he doesn't know, they don't know they're the Israelites, but there is some sort of unity. Play on.
So it's a very, very passionate thing to actually be involved in this tradition. The Black Carnival traditions of New Orleans started out of resistance. Africans who came here during the transatlantic slave trade.
Pause real quick. So this brother, he's breaking it down. He said, look, he said, what we did with the Black Masked Indians, it started out as a resistance. A resistance of what? Of the resentment of having to be put in slavery, being called outside your name. And contrary to popular belief, the society tells us that the Native Americans, and this is for the first-time listeners perhaps, is that the Native Americans were Redskins, hence the name Washington Redskins. They'll show you pictures of the Seminoles, and they show you men with like a more of a reddish skin. And really, the Native Americans, I grew up near a Native American reservation called the Narragansetts, and they were brown like this brother. The Native Americans were brown, okay? And he's going to show you to what this means with the dressing up as Native Americans, okay, and they fused it with Mardi Gras. He's going to tell you. So let him tell you. Play.
Rebelled against slavery, they ran off into the maroon communities with the indigenous, and they would hide them from the slave masters. So the way that we pay homage to those indigenous folk for doing that was to create this tradition that we call the masculine Indian tradition.
So pause real quick. And he says something heavy in a minute. So a lot of times down here, because remember the French came through the New Orleans area, and it was fought. A lot of white folks were fighting for this land. And what happened is they were able to escape from these Native American towns, what they call them the Maroon towns, which I didn't realize that. I thought it was just Jamaica. And these brothers who are Native American were able to hide so-called the Black American slave. So what does that tell you? They looked somewhat alike.
And they spoke the same language. They was able to communicate.
They spoke the same language. So what they're doing is they didn't get a chance to express it. So they used Mardi Gras to say it was a way to say we won. It was a way to say we won people, and we represent and we respect. And they would dress up like that, showing they were one people. Well, he gonna say it. Play on.
They started calling us Mardi Gras Indians. That wasn't a name that we gave ourselves. We used the term Black Masculine Indian to make the distinction that when we're paying homage, we're mainly speaking of the people that was able to hide us. And you can't hide people if you don't look like them, right?
Pause. You see that? This is the best part of the show here that I took from it. Because I'm thinking there's no meaning, anything behind it. Was just all, some of it was, we used the season of Mardi Gras to come out there, because then you didn't have to, he says later, you don't have to get a permit. So they were able to, under the nose of the enemy, they're able to celebrate the unity of saying thank you for hiding us during slavery from our slave masters. And they would dress up like Native American chiefs. And he said, look, how the hell could we have to look alike for you to hide. That's why when it goes back to when you read in Matthew 2, he said, take the young child and flee into Egypt. So we were able to blend in with the Egyptians because we looked the same. So it proves that the Native Americans looked similar to the blacks who came over on the transatlantic slave trade. So the natives that were here first looked similar before the white man to the slaves that he brought over. Okay, and they want to divide us like that. And he's showing you, no, there's unity. So this is one thing that if y'all learn from Mardi Gras, when you see these black masked Indians, although they have the oxing, although they're somewhat confused, they are very much, it's history. Play it again.
Make the distinction that when we pay homage, we're mainly speaking of the people that was able to hide us. And you can't hide people if you don't look like them, right? There was many folk here, black folk.
Pause. Now, you saw the fringes. Those of you, and look, those of you who watch the show, we understand you know this already. But some people might share this video. And we want to take the time to express that these are Native Americans. Their color, their dress, because these are the Israelites. They hung on to their custom before when they came, when they got their freedom. When you read in 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, they brought not only King Solomon's coins with them, which they actually found in a tomb of a Native American chief in Ohio. They also brought their fringes. They brought the law with them. So that's why they looked like the transatlantic slaves who were brought over here. So these brothers and sisters hid the slaves because they're the same people. And like Officer Matthew said, they spoke the same language. So when we look at this video, they're dressing up, black people are dressing up like Indians. Well, some of them, they are intermingled. And some black people down here, you would think they're just black. No, a lot of them are Native Americans. But they're giving reverence to the fact that, thank you, brother, for hiding me during a time when we were in slavery. You hid us. You looked out for us. Okay?
Hey, Cap, and to show you how that history kind of got away from us, when you go to places in southern Louisiana like Vacherie, when you go to like Raceland, Thibodaux, Homer, Morgan City, they'll tell you, I'm black, but yeah, I got Indian in my family.
Right.
They'll tell you that straight up. They don't really understand what they're saying. They know that the Native Americans are their family, they're their people, and that they were originally black, but they don't know that, you know, the intricacies of the history, because they look just like that. They all throughout southern Louisiana. Like a lot of people that think that they're black are actually Gad, or think that they're Judah are actually Gad, because over the years Esau started to redefine us,
right.
And they took all of the Native Americans. They just said all of these are Negroes.
And so that's a heavy point. A lot of us who are think that we are Judah, we may be Gad, and guess what? That's an honor. That's an honor as well. So look at this particular Native American. This is an Israelite, and this is what the colonists saw when they came here. They saw brown-skinned folks, different shades of brown, and they saw them with fringes. They saw them with weaponry. They saw them with whole cities. They saw them with civilization. Okay, play on.
Black folk of African descent who were indigenous to Louisiana many years before the transatlantic slave trade.
You heard what he said? Black folks that were indigenous to Louisiana many years before the transatlantic slave trade. That is a Native American. That is a Native American. And I love seeing that right there, man. That is a Native American brother. His fringes up and down on the side of his leather pants. Yeah, look like one of the officers in IUIC. Okay, play on.
Black Indians, and that's who we're actually paying homage to.
Bitch, go by down, don't know how I make a caterpillar crawl a slippery wall. And when I get him to the top, I dance the fall.
I'm not sure exactly when it started, but I do know that blacks wasn't allowed to do Mardi Gras with Europeans in the French Quarter.
Pause real quick. This is the point. See, you black people who think that everything's equal just because in 2022, 2023, listen, you are not allowed to celebrate Mardi Gras with white people. You were not allowed. So what they did is they had to come out and dressing up like this. That's a beautiful. Listen, I know it's a lot of it's confusion, but look at our people are amazing. Black people did this. Look at the face. Look at the sister has a picture of a black woman with earrings and look like yellow, like a lipstick. Okay, that was handmade. Embroidered works. Thank you, whoever said that. Our people are the most creative. Look, if that's design, that's some design for you right there. Okay, black people did this. Okay, now yes, and we adopted some of their custom and made it our own, just like we do everything else. Okay, we took the French, the brothers in Haiti took French and made Creole to be able to talk some words that the French could not understand. So we did a similar thing here. Okay, you do Mardi Gras. We can't celebrate with you, or we gonna mock you in your face by giving honors to our brothers that hit us during slavery. And now it's convoluted to the point where everybody, now you got like Iran, all of a sudden them brothers in Solomon interviewing, they just there for the beads, getting drunk, and they lost, a lot of it lost the meaning. But some of our people still know what it means to resist. Okay, play on.
We had to utilize European holidays to mask our African carnival traditions in the streets and neighborhoods. So the significance of Mardi Gras Day was really about being able to come out on the streets without needing a permit from the city. There's 3 parts to being an Indian. One is masking. Once you put a mask on, you become the energy or entity of what it is that you're masking. It's an African tradition. The other is procession. You're taking that mask and you procession in the streets and the neighborhoods.
All right, so look, and here's the thing. Get me the book of Romans chapter 11. It says, or maybe it's 10. It says, for they have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge. So a lot of our brothers that are involved in this, he said there's 3 levels of being. He mentions masking. He mentioned the certain, and they sound very godly. They sound like it's something that's righteous, and it's not, because they are not keeping the laws of God as Israelites. Read
the book of Romans, chapter 10 and verse 2.
For
I bear them record that they have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge.
So a lot of our brothers who are in Carnival, who are in Mardi Gras, who believe that they're doing the right thing, they believe that they're following the path of their ancestors. It seems like it's righteous. Read it again.
For I bear them record that they have a zeal of God.
That's why they got the zeal. They make these incredible embroidered works that look phenomenal. It's a zeal. It's zealous. Read on.
But not according to knowledge.
But it's not according to the laws of God. Okay. Read on.
For they being ignorant of God's righteousness.
And that's why we're here. That's why the brothers went out and did the cuts from the street. To show that our people really are ignorant. They have, it's called generational ignorance. They don't even understand why they're doing Mardi Gras. They just know their manifestation is a good time, getting drunk, seeing breasts, getting beads, and smoking weed, and carnival babies come, and what happens at Mardi Gras stays at Mardi Gras. 12:01 on Wednesday, like Officer Matthew said, it's back to normal now. No more flashing, no more drinking. You go to jail. So it goes back to ancient Egypt. Customs and behaviors that were not normal in society during this time become normal. It's a spirit. We read about in 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 9 and 10, particularly verse 10. Play on, and we're going to get ready to close. No, we're going to close out soon.
Energy or entity of what it is that you're masking. It's an African tradition.
Yeah, and also
the other is
those broidered works are not just any old broidered works. Each costume or each garment tells a story. There's a storyline inside of each piece of that garment.
Going in hand beating these suits. You have Africa in it. You have indigenous in it. You have native in it. And you also have the innovation of New Orleans that's all present in the suit. The unique thing about the suits is you can use your own creativity. Your color is always your choice.
I gotta tell you, that's
subject-
why when the scripture says that we are the salt of the earth, and I know that, and that's why we brought you to Romans. This is a true zeal right here. This is a zeal that this is listen. Our people are amazing. When it look pause it real quick. Look at the level of craftsmanship, the level of care. And I understand it's in ignorance. It's in ignorance of God's righteousness, but it is a zeal that is very, it's incredible. And our people, the blacks and natives of this land in New Orleans, particularly in New Orleans and other parts of the world where Carnival is celebrated, our people do this. And it just shows that they can do great things. And if we can, that's why our job is so important. And many times, you know, even down here, you figure you're not going to stop Mardi Gras, but you can stop some of these folks from carrying on. And the brothers in this room, Officer Michael, who called in, they used to be a part of that. And the laws of God took them out of that world, okay? And many of our people are in this, and we have to get through to them. As hard as it is, as much as it seems like we get defeated, as it seems if no one's listening, we have to continue to push. But I'm very impressed with our people. We're just a creative people. When we get our heart set in the right way, there's nothing that we can't do. You know, look at that. Wow, play on.
Ability to be as creative as you want to be. It's a 100-pound suit, so it's very heavy.
What did he say? Holy 100. Hey, y'all gotta see. Those of you who lift weights, right? If you go to a gym, on an Olympic bar, the big plates are 45-pound plates. You gotta figure that's like having two 45-pound plates on your body plus another 10 pounds. A 100-pound suit. That's amazing. Think about all of the beads. Think about all of the work that it took. And it shows you that they believe in this cause, although it's an ignorant cause, but it does show us a form of unity because those suits tell a story about the unity between the 10 tribes of Israel and the southern kingdom and under resistance of oppression. He used the word revolt, okay? Play on.
Hey,
go ahead, speak on it.
That's what I was about to say, Cap. Notice that I didn't see any fat people out there with them suits on. So it wasn't no
right. So Gabe, did you ever wear these suits? Gabe is our on-site fat man, and yeah, he probably wouldn't make it down half a block. Neither would Asa, you know. Nah, not yet. Finish this video out, and we'll segue into that in a minute.
It's a 100-pound suit, so it's very heavy. Like they would say, pretty in the front and pretty in the back. Be a golden feather hunter, we dress like that. You want to try to be pretty. There's a lot of vanity in it, so you still a little bit vain. So it's just a term that we use.
When he said that, he really mean it. Like when you see like a big chief, like when we was growing up, we had a few people that was friends of the family that was in the Mardi Gras Indians, and the big chief, he always say he the prettiest, and he's serious about that. Ain't nobody prettier than him, and that's what make him the big chief. So you know, it's very, very ego driven.
And look, and we're gonna pause here, and you can take it off that. And so this is why, look, we do shows like this to show you. And a lot of you may not be exposed to Carnival and Mardi Gras. Where we're at down here, it is a huge part of life, and we want our people to know that we hope this video gets out, to know that there's a history behind it that goes back to ancient Egypt. And Esau, the so-called white man, took that during the Greco-Roman Empire, converted it and changed it, refurbished the whole thing, and then through slavery spread it throughout the earth. And then some of our people, in their own way, adopted a revolutionary spirit and coming together to try to fight against the oppression, but it's still done in ignorance. So that's why we show you the black masked Indians. And look, we hope our people repent. There's one more video, and then we're going to go to the Lard back attack. The other video is, I just had it. It's Number 7. It's first paragraph under revilers, Christian values and morals. It's from the USA Today. And we had a whole bunch of stuff planned, but we are not going to be able to get to everything. But number 7. Number 7, please. So this is from the USA Today, and we're just going to scroll down the most popular carnivals in the world. Just scroll down real quick. Scroll down. Oh, pause. So the number 1 carnival in the world is Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. That's the one we showed you with the cartoon, and we showed you the very, very scantily dressed black and brown women. Scroll down. Next, I think, is Nottingham. Nope, I'm sorry. Carnival of Santa Cruz. That's in Spain. Spain has a huge one. And these take place, by the way, different times of the year. Next, scroll down. Trinidad and Tobago is a huge carnival. Scroll down. I went to this one. This is in London. This is absolutely huge. We went in August. We was in the Truth. We taught on the outskirts of the parade, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe my eyes. It looked just like this. We were there. We were there on August 25th. We were there. It wasn't 19. It might have been 16 or 17. But London, another huge West Indian population in London. Our people are involved in it there. Scroll down. Venice, Italy. And a lot of sources have said, well, it started in Italy. No, it didn't. Esau stole it. Alexander the Great went down and stole the whole framework from the Egyptians. Scroll down. Germany, Cologne Carnival in Germany. Okay, scroll down. They got one in Sri Lanka. Okay, Sri Lanka. And by the way, in India, Sri Lanka is the country off the bottom of India. And most of Indians do not celebrate it. And many of the people the slaves that were dropped there, they celebrate it. Scroll down. Turkey, okay. Scroll down. Here's New Orleans, Louisiana. Okay. Scroll down. There's a part where there's a paragraph. It's supposed to be, go up to the first paragraph, if you could. And then we're going to segue through. I want to read something that is the theme of this whole show, and that's the standard of a normally is this the first paragraph? This can't be it. Read the first paragraph.
All right. Former Uruguayans holding 40-day-long celebrations to October festers, consuming 7 million liters of beer and mochi. The people of the world have proven that they know how to party. The term carnival...
This is the point. The term carnival, read,
often refers to the Catholic celebration of the decadence.
So the Catholics, remember, the Pope is the head of the Catholic Church. So during this time before Lent, they give a green light to go against everything that they're supposed to represent in the scriptures. Okay? Read it again.
The term carnival often refers to the Catholic celebration of the decadence.
Now, what is decadence? Is that just talking about food? No. Read on.
And revelry.
So wait a minute. They had the scriptures in 1400, in 1600. If they had the scriptures, well, with King James Version really made it so that household, a lot more people could get access to the Bible. But they had records. They understood to keep God's commandments to a certain degree. So this is a time where now the normal behavior of non-revelry is now accepted, which goes along with drunkenness, which goes along with wife swapping, which goes along with covetousness, which goes along with drunkenness, lewdness, all of that. Read on.
And revelry, held before the arrival of Lent.
And Officer Iran said it. You partying all month long, and Ash Wednesday, you put ash on your head, and now you're holy. After you just done flashing, got 15 beads okay, and did a bunch of disgusting, drunken, lewd behavior, and now you're back in church on Lent with a doggone ash mark on your forehead, looking stupid. Read on.
When people fast and abstain from such excess.
Okay, so that was it.
Hey, Cap.
Yes, sir.
They don't fast. I had a nigga gonna tell me, he said, well, I just won't drink any Dr. Pepper this week. That's what they do. They'll like, well, I won't eat any chewing gum. It's always something stupid.
That's what they taught us. Even in the Baptist church growing up, they used to teach us that you could fast from chocolate. You could fast from cold drinks. You could fast from sugar. You could fast from eating bread. You know, whatever you want to fast from, you abstain. They called it a fast. That's what we was taught.
And you know what gave me the most? I like going to the Caribbean joint. When they on their Lent fast, you can't get no fish. You can't get no snapper. You can't find no salmon. They eat it all up. What's up with the fish? I know I don't understand.
They consider it not to be meat.
It's crazy, man. Y'all, listen. The hope of this show is that we can wake some of our people up and share and avoid stuff like a carnival baby. That's an actual term where we showed earlier before the break. A carnival baby. Babies born out of wedlock. And that's why you hear people talk about, you know, my brother didn't really look like me, but I know that we have the same mother. And that happens in New York and all over where carnival babies. So babies are born out of wedlock. Okay? So now get me what was the last thing? Oh, lower back attack. So we're going to segue out, brothers and sisters. Check it out for yourself and share the video because there's an ancient origin and a spirit behind Carnival, behind Mardi Gras. All right? Mikhail posted something. Number 9 says, yes. Okay, Tammuz, yes. Go to number 9. Thank you, Officer Mikhail. Number 9. I knew I was going to, we missed something. So it also talks about, remember in the scriptures it talks about the weeping of Tammuz. Number 9, paragraph 2. So I think it's Wikipedia. No, the firmament. Yeah, so let's go ahead and read that.
According to Alexander Hislop, in his book, The Two Babylons, the 40 days abstinence of Lent was directly borrowed from the worshippers of the Babylonian goddess Ishtar, the queen of heaven. Among the pagans, this Lent seems to have been an indispensable preliminary to the great annual festival in commemoration of the death and resurrection of Tammuz.
And you know what's heavy about? We read before and saw in that video where in ancient Egypt they would go from the east bank to the west bank in worship and remembrance of an ancient Egyptian gods. You see how all the ancient gods, they're of no avail. They're of nothing. They're of no significance. And you can see that the ancient Babylonians had that. They could have got that from the Egyptians. All of that is then refurbished and reinvented or stolen and then reconceptualized with these Europeans. And then they claim it as their own. Okay? But it has a history. Is that it on that?
Which was celebrated by the alternate weeping and rejoicing.
Right. And that's why you'll see if they have down here, they have the thing called second lines where if someone dies, you have a party parade. And again, it's all ancient customs. So look, with that, we're going to transition to the last part of the show where we go into a little bit of motivation about health and how to come out of being unhealthy. All right, so stick around for a lower back attack. Get me Sirach chapter 31, verse 15 or 16. 15 and 16. Shalom, y'all. Welcome to another edition of Lard Back Attack. Disclaimer. Listen, at the end of the day, being fat is a first world Babylonian self-posed problem that you can come out of. Okay, how about a hungry kid from the Congo? How about a hungry kid from Sri Lanka? Okay, they don't have a choice to be fat. That's a luxury, you being fat. You can fix it. Sirach 31, it says, eat as it becometh a man. And by the way, it's amazing. When you talk to people in person and you make a statement and they think you're talking about them, he's talking about me. If you are fat, you are overweight, and you think I'm talking about you through the camera, I'm talking about you through the camera. Okay? Read. So we have to eat as it becometh men, because men are leaders. Men set the tone for the nation of Israel. Are we alive or no? We not on? Read it again.
The book of Sirach, chapter 31 and verse 16.
Come on.
Eat as it becometh a man.
So the first thing we got to understand is that men are the rulers of the household. Men are the rulers of the nation. So that's why you're going to hear me always get on the brothers. I'm not going to get on the sisters. You're not going to email me. None of y'all sisters are going to do that. We're going to change the men first. When the men get in order, they'll set their households in order, and we will set the nation in order. Black women are the most obese, and that's a statistic you can read in society. Okay, read on.
Eat as it becometh a man.
Yes, sir.
Those things which are set before thee.
So guess what? If I am a single man, I control what I cook for myself. Or if I go to a restaurant, I have control over that. If I am a married man, I control what food my wife buys and what she puts before me and my children. So those of you who are overweight, obese, or morbidly obese, it's because you want to be. If you want to lose the weight, challenge me. Eat one meal and talk to your white doctor first and get permission from them, or whoever you have. Most of you have white doctors who want to prescribe you with all type of high blood pressure medication, like all different pills you have to stay on the rest of your life because you're obese. Or you can eat one meal a day, healthy keto, cut the carbs till you lose the weight, and every single one of you can lose the weight. Okay? Read it again.
Eat as it becometh a man.
Yes, sir.
Those things which are set before thee.
Right, because I'm about to get in jokester mode real quick, but I'm letting you know that it's serious. We want you. I have multiple brothers that we help, we support, and many brothers have lost 100 pounds all day and then some, and are keeping the weight off because they're men and they set the order in their house and they're standing up for the nation of Israel. We need to be that subculture of black people. People can say, well, damn, they're a hate group, but when I look at them, why do they look so much more healthy than the rest of the black population? We supposed to be the light of the world. And these laws and governance on how to eat and what to eat, all right, it's not just talking about the swine and not eating catfish. There's a lot more to God's laws. And a lot of you brothers that are overweight, okay, and you're not bothered by the things I'm saying, is because you're comfortable in Babylon. And I'm telling you right now, some of you brothers, I question you. 10 years and you have not lost the weight? Come on. We got to do better. We have to all do better, okay? And if you think I'm talking about you, best believe I am. Read on.
And devour not, lest thou be hated.
Because we're gonna watch a video, and by the way, I don't wish any ill will on any brother, but we're going to watch a video that is very sad. And it's funny. You're going to laugh when you first see, but then you're going to be sad because you're going to realize that this brother don't have to be like this. And if he can overcome. All of you, a lot of you, brothers in IUIC too, if you're 40 pounds overweight, you think, oh, I'm a little gut. That's 40 pounds overweight. Some of you are 80 pounds overweight. You're freaking 6 foot, you weigh 300 pounds. But because you don't look that fat in clothes, but then you in the mirror and you got a big giant gut, you got big fat back. This is a problem, man. This is a problem. And we gotta deal with this problem. Okay? So we're gonna roll the video. Okay?
I wake up in the morning time. The first thing I do before I even brush my teeth.
Now pause real quick. So now this brother right here, pause it, pause, if you could. Rewind it again. So I just want to pause right real quick. Okay. So this brother is a young man, okay? He's a young man, and this is the thing that pisses me off. Nobody around this guy is, maybe they are. Maybe he's not listening. we're supposed to have a support system around us. No Israelite is supposed to get to that level. There's supposed to be checks and balances of strong men around this man that's supposed to challenge this guy. Okay? Because we don't want, this brother keeps up, he's going to be dead soon. He's going to have a stroke, a heart attack. He probably already has diabetes. He's probably on 7 medications right now. And he's a young man. I'm not saying he's on some. He's on probably multiple medications. He's morbidly obese. He's probably 400 to 500 pounds or more. Okay? And this is an epidemic. This is a problem amongst our people. And we got to start. It's got to start with you men. The women are weaker than us. They are weaker than us. Play on.
I wake up in the morning time. The first thing I do before I even brush my teeth. Good morning, how you doing? I'm calling to put in an order for breakfast this morning, please. I gotta look at whatever service I need, do what I'm gonna order for breakfast. That's the first thing I do. All right, can I get the 2 slices of steakhouse premium pancake? Can I get 2 orders of that, please? I spend most of my time on these delivery services. Can I get the game day family feast? Can I get the original French toast?
So hold up. This is one order. So all of that he just said, that's his breakfast. And so what happens is, and I'm going to get technical real quick. Every time that you gain a pound of fat, there are 3,500 calories. That's an average that is agreed upon of calories. So what that's the concept of, I use the term a lot about a grizzly bear. How the hell can a grizzly bear who weighs, I'm going to use an arbitrary number, he weighs 450 pounds, and before he goes into his long dormant sleep period, because technically it's not hibernation because bears actually do get up sometimes, and then they go right back to sleep. These bears will lose more than 1/3 of their body weight, which is, let's say, 150 pounds, and they don't die because they go into deep ketosis and they begin to use their body fat as fuel. What you have to understand, it's a process of logic and reasoning. If you want to lose weight, you have to get into ketosis. What do? You deprive your body of carbs and sugar. Basically, eat vegetables, you eat a keto diet, okay? Once you do that, your body begins to burn fat instead of glycogen, which is from the foods from rice, starches, sugars. Even this man, it might take him 2 years, can lose the weight. But we should never have no Israelite amongst us that is 100, even 30 pounds overweight is freaking ridiculous. And that's why a lot of you don't like me. You don't like me because I check all of your ass like a box. I ain't playing. That's why I've been checking Gabe. Gabe's been fat for like 3 years. He's in the room with me. He don't listen. And he's 20 years old. I'm going to be his father. And I'm going to keep cussing his ass out till he loses the weight. Otherwise, I'm weak if I don't help him. Ain't it right, Gabe? A big, fat, swollen. Gabe ain't even half this guy's size. Just to be very clear. And by the way, Gabe's only about 60 pounds. So I just break his balls. But this is a problem. Play on.
It's just crazy, so I get excited. It's like the Super Bowl. You can get whatever you want now. You understand? And let me get a slice of ham. 2 of them.
Okay. Is that all?
Yes. But once I place an order, I get anxious, even though the food don't take long.
Look how he got to walk, man. You remember last week we showed you a sister that the husband was moving on a luggage carrier in the hallway of the hotel. She had to sit down here to roll her big behind over. And what it is, it's a spirit of great depression. And the fix is the food is like a drug to them. It's an endorphin release in their mind, which makes them feel temporarily alleviated of the depression. The reality is we have to deal with the issues of the underlying issues of a lack of discipline, and you have to fight through your depression. And that's why I'm telling you, all of you, I challenge all of you. Start with intermittent fasting, and you evolve to one meal. Right now, I didn't eat nothing until 6:30 tonight. All day long, I drank water and black coffee. That's it, okay? And I keep saying it. I am the same size I was when I got out of boot camp and when I got out of high school. Same size, same weight. Because you got to restrict what you eat. You don't need it. Give me very little sufficient for a man well-nurtured. And I'm saying this because if we do not start in the Israelite community, how can we show our light to the brothers and sisters in the world? And this is why I'm telling you, brothers, you fat back lard asses, you better lose the weight. Okay? Hell, if I can do it, any of you could do it. Me, if I could, you can do it. Please. It just takes mind. Your spirit controls your body. You're not allowed to eat. You can't eat until later on this time. That's it. You're not going to die. A lot of you have fat you can live off of. Okay, there was it was covered. One brother did a show. The world record for fasting with just water, and he would take water and powdered vitamins and minerals, which didn't spike. It was over 360 days of continuous water fasting, and the man lost an incredible amount of weight. Why? Because he was eating every day, because 1 pound of fat sustains 3,500 calories. It's just basic logic, y'all. And I know you're going to hear the same way they keep showing you stupid Valentine's Day, the stupid-ass Easter and all that. I'm going to keep reminding you every single week, you all don't have to be fat. It's a damn choice. It's a friggin' privilege to be fat, okay? It's not a great privilege, but you have the luxury. It's a luxury, I should say. Read.
The book of Sirach, chapter 31 and verse 19.
We get ready to close out.
A very little is sufficient for a man well nurtured.
You hear that? Read it again.
A very little is sufficient for a man well nurtured.
No, nigga, it ain't talking about eating one piece of pea and a carrot. That ain't talking about that. You don't got to eat 9 damn times a friggin' day. You're not Usain Bolt that burns 4,000 calories a day. You're not Usain Bolt. You're not a professional gymnast. Most of us, we can do, like Deacon Asaph points out, that's the brother that hooked me to it. Okay? Shout out to Deacon Asaph, all right? Look, if you're in shape, you might be able to do 2 meals a day, and you'd be good in a small window, right? But 1 meal a day, look, so many, look up OMAD, O-M-A-D, O-M-A-D, 1 meal a day. Look at all the benefits. Let the white doctors tell you that, okay? Instead of my big damn mouth, you all should look into it. Cut the carbs, lard ass. Read it again.
A very little is sufficient for a man well nurtured.
A man well nurtured. So what does that tell you? This is really for adults. You're not going to have a 13-year-old doing it. They still got to grow. It's really for adults. Man, you can use different diets, but it's really I'm focused on the adults. I ain't telling you to now you're 12, you're 11-year-old. No, I'm not talking about that. We're talking about adults. Read on.
He fetcheth not his wind short upon his babes.
A lot of you might have gas. You might have certain things, like everybody have gas, whatever. But you might have stress and have gas. But the point is, a lot of times you burp, and you wake up, burp, and you wake up because you're eating too often. Your digestive system needs a break. So try. If you got problems with that, it can help you. All right, read on.
Sound sleep cometh of moderate eating.
Now, if you eating beans and a bunch of lentils, I don't care if you eat 1 meal a day, you still going to have gas. But read it again.
Sound sleep cometh of moderate eating.
If you want to fix your sleep, stop eating freaking 9 times a day like a ravenous, rabid wolf. Okay, like Gabe eats. Read it again.
Sound sleep come of moderate eating. He riseth early, and his wits are with him.
And I'm going to tell you something. When you eat less, you get up sharper. Your mind is clearer. This is the Bible telling you. Try it. Prove it to yourself. Read on.
But the pain of what is it? But the pain of watching and choler,
sickness of your belly, your stomach, your insides. Read on.
And pangs of the belly are with an insatiable man.
And that's what you see with that brother right there. That brother is insatiable. And guess what? He got all, what he's not saying to you, he got all type of digestive problems. He got all type of problems with bowel movements. He got a lot of problems. And it's a cycle of depression. So listen, and I say this, I'm going to keep repeating it over and over again. And when you see me in person, you fat brothers, you usually run the other way. But I'll give you the business, because here's the thing. I know what you're about to go through. When you go in the office and he tells you, sir, your blood pressure is at a point right now it's uncontrollable. We're going to have to put you on hydrochlorothiazide, amlodipine, this one and this one. Okay? Yeah, you're going to have side effects. We're going to balance the side effects of that with another medication. Now you're hooked on when you could have beat it yourself. Okay, read on.
Verse 22. My son, hear me, and despise me not, and at the last thou shalt find as I told thee.
So that's what we're showing you, that God, we are the sons of God. God's showing you through the words of Sirach, through the words of the prophets, You do this and you get the results. You don't need a lot of food, okay? You need to eat a certain amount in one time a day, maybe 2 times a day at the most. If you're a fat back lard ass, we got brothers who will eat a meal every other day, and they're drinking vitamins and minerals in their like electrolyte powder, and they're drinking water, and they're still eating, because when you're in ketosis, if your maintenance calories are 3,000, for example, right? You'll lose almost a pound a day of fat. That's why brothers can lose 5 pounds, 6 pounds in a week from doing a water fast. So you brothers, you can do this. Start off with very little salt, intermittent fasting, 1 meal a day, and it all lines up with the scriptures. And we got brother after brother after brother who are losing the weight and keeping it off right here in IUIC. We got to repent, y'all. Read on.
And all thy works be quick.
And all thy works be quick to what? To understand. Read on.
So shall there no sickness come upon unto thee.
And that's what this brother is sick. Not only is he physically sick, he's mentally sick. To the point where if you watch that video long enough, you will begin to feel depressed for him. That's why I refuse to do that. Because I'm going to tell you what I'm not going to do is sit there and speak at your funeral when I could speak to you before that. Bro, you 100 freaking pounds overweight. You are 6'1", 335 freaking pounds. Let's look at a scale. Let's look at a normal chart. You're supposed to weigh between 189 and 206 pounds. You're 130 pounds over. What the hell's the problem? That's love. I'm not going to be, no, he was a good brother. Oh, the brother did a lot of work in the body. The brother did, oh, really? Now, we know that the Lord controls all of that, right? We understand that. The Lord could take out a perfectly healthy brother, right? We understand that. But why would you give the enemy an advantage over you? You being obese, the enemy now could prescribe you statin drugs and all type of friggin' prescription drugs. Plus, you can't even run. If you get chased by a damn dog, your fat ass can't run away. You at camp. You go down, no man left behind, right? So now I got to extract you out and friggin' you going to break my back. I ain't going to leave you behind. That's where you brothers, you better lose the weight. Cut the BS. Read on. That's it?
Yes, sir.
All right. So look, play this a little bit more of this, and then we're going to close out.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. All right, thank you.
That's just breakfast.
And once again,
he got 3-4 friggin' bags for just breakfast. Where is there's a guy on YouTube? He walks around like this. You ever see him? Short black brother, swollen. He walk around and he go, hey, what's up, champ? And then he walk up to his clients and smash the food out their hand. He roll up on a fast food restaurant. And look, it's a funny spiff, but we got to be like that with you. We supposed to regulate each other. You know what I'm saying? And you brothers that's not getting on these big brothers, man, look, I understand. Some brothers, you know, you get on them and they don't want to hear it. They might pull you aside. All right, well, I ain't going to talk about you then. But I'm going to tell you one thing. When your ass, the doctor said, look, man, there's nothing more that we can do at this point, you know. Because, by the way, obesity, people that are obese have higher rates of cancer as well. Okay? So you brothers, it would behoove you to pay attention. All right? So a little bit serious tonight on the lower back attack. I challenge all you brothers, if you need help, okay, if you get permission from your physician first, okay, we got volunteer programs. We can help you to lose the weight. We got many examples, men that you might see on videos and all type of, they have done it. You can too. We got to be the light of the world. Matthew 5:14, then we're going to close out. Yep, we're over 2 hours, 2 hours and 5-6 minutes.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 14.
Some of you need to hear this, believe it or not. Share this video with people that are overweight, fat, or morbidly obese and tell them to cut the BS. Read.
Ye are the light of the world.
We're supposed to be the light. How are we going to be the light of the world? Now, I'm going to sit there and talk about dietary laws, and I'm 150 pounds overweight. That doesn't make no sense. Read on.
A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid.
Right, a city. We're supposed to be the city. We're supposed to be that lighted city for all of our people to see. Here it is. We're in a cesspool of society and sin. We got Carnival season going on right now, and we're supposed to be that. They're supposed to see our sisters, pretty sisters, still having curves, covered up, looking classy in their dress. That's the light of the world. Okay? Brothers in IUIC, we out there teaching in the street. We teaching against the sins of this world, and we are healthy and in shape, in a reasonable amount of in shape, and a reasonable amount of weight levels. We're supposed to be like that. You teach in the Bible, you 350 pounds, and you doggone 5'9". Okay, I'm telling you real things that we see. Read on. Right? Right. But in formation, and I got the big fat giant brothers, got to put them in the inner ranks because they embarrassing the hell out of us. Okay? So look, Israel, repent, you big fat lard asses, lose the weight, healthy keto, 1 meal a day, get permission from your white doctor before you friggin' decide to do that. And with that, we'd like to thank you. This concludes the lard back attack. Shalom. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Hey, we went a little bit over on time tonight. We hope that you got something on tonight's show about Carnival and Mardi Gras. It's an ancient, refurbished Egyptian custom that was stolen by the Greco-Roman Empire, and then through slavery we learned the slave master's ways. Come out of that Mardi Gras. Come out of that carnival spirit, all right? Repent. Disclaimer.
Give alms. Give alms at your local schools. Drop an envelope in the alms box to give alms online. You can go to PayPal, IUIC.NewOrleans@IsraelUnite.org. To give alms to the Booster Club via PayPal, it is IUIC.fundraising@IsraelUnite.org. Give alms to continue to help see these awesome radio shows. Give alms to continue to send the prophets around the world to preach and teach this gospel. Support the troops. We are not a hate group. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Israel United in Christ is a nonviolent Bible-based movement. We do not advocate or condone any acts of violence against any race, ethnicity, or gender. We advise that if anyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone or to break the laws of the land, you must contact the proper authorities to bring awareness to any possible threats as stated in Leviticus 5:1.
All praise to the Most High. Thanks for staying with us. I know it's late, it's past midnight in parts of the eastern part of the country. Look, and I just want to say, you brothers and sisters who might be offended that are overweight, listen, you need to start doing something about it. Lose the weight and get healthy. I'm challenging you. I'm challenging y'all. So don't get mad at me. You can get mad and do something about it, all right? Because you're going to be the one that's going to be on the medication. You're going to be the one that's in the hospital. You're going to be the one that's got tubes hooked up to you. And you could have did something about it while you were still alive. All right? So with that, we're giving all praise to the Most High and His Son. We are your hosts. I'm Captain Shem.
Officer Matthew.
Officer Micah.
Officer Iran.
And with a shortness of breath, with that we say shalom.
Shalom.
Judah blood. I see. It's a beast. Look, I see matches in the kingdom. I see hunters slaying demons. I see fire on this earth coming down like Hiroshima. I see prophets rising up, prophesying scriptures cut. I see Christ, He coming back.